Rain hammers the empty streets of the city as the clock strikes midnight. We find Daniel, 32 years old, an architect by trade and a dreamer by nature, walking alone beneath a streetlight that flickers like it cannot decide whether to stay on. His face is pale, hollow, carved out by something deeper than exhaustion. A voiceover drifts in, barely above a whisper. There are moments in life when everything you believed turns out to be a carefully constructed lie. The camera moves slowly toward his eyes, red and raw from crying. His hand grips his phone so tightly his knuckles strain against the skin. The screen glows with a single text message. We cannot read it, not yet. Rain streaks across the lens as the title dissolves into view through the downpour. The night, everything changed. 3 days earlier, the world looked completely different. Daniel's apartment glows with warm golden light, laughter filling every corner. Across from him sits Marcus, his best friend of over a decade, charming as ever, glass raised high. Marcus. To Daniel, the man who turns blueprints into empires. This deal is going to change everything, brother. Daniel laughs, shaking his head. Daniel. You always were better at toasts than at poker. Marcus. And yet you still owe me $200 from last summer. They both laugh, the kind of laugh that only comes from years of shared history. The warmth between them feels completely real, completely safe. And that is exactly the point. Because the audience is meant to love Marcus right now. They are meant to feel this friendship deeply. The warmer this moment feels, the colder the truth will eventually land. Daniel's phone buzzes on the kitchen counter. He glances at the screen. Eleanor. He answers immediately, his voice relaxed and easy. Hey, everything set for the meeting? Eleanor's response comes measured, each word placed just a little too carefully. She tells him the investor meeting has been moved to Friday. She tells him everything is under control. Her tone is professional, smooth, exactly what it always is. And yet something beneath it sits slightly wrong, like a painting hung 1 degree off center. Daniel doesn't notice. He thanks her, tells her he trusts her completely, and means every word. The line goes dead. We cut to a dimly lit parking garage. Elena stands alone, phone pressed against her chest. She stares into the darkness ahead. Then she exhales, slow and deliberate. The camera holds on her face. She doesn't move. She doesn't speak. She simply stands there, carrying something heavy and unspoken. The audience feels it before they can name it. That night, Daniel drops his bag by the door and moves toward his desk. He stops. His laptop is open. He stares at it for a moment, certain he left it closed before heading out. He sits down slowly and begins clicking through his folders, scanning file names, checking timestamps. Everything looks exactly as he left it. Nothing is missing. Nothing is moved. He exhales and rubs his eyes. He tells himself he is overthinking, that exhaustion is playing tricks on him. He closes the laptop and heads to bed. The camera stays behind. The room falls quiet. Then, in the darkness, a small green indicator light on the laptop blinks once, steady and deliberate, then goes completely dark. Someone has been inside his files. Daniel does not know, but we do. The silence that follows feels anything but safe. The morning light feels ordinary when Daniel slides into the cafe seat across from Marcus. Coffee arrives. Conversation flows easily at first, the way it always does between old friends. But something is slightly off. Marcus keeps reaching for his phone, eyes flicking down between sentences. Daniel notices and asks about it. Marcus laughs, waves it away, pivots to another topic without missing a beat. He is smooth. He has always been smooth. Daniel lets it go. Then Marcus glances toward the door. Once, twice. A woman enters. Nothing about her is remarkable, but Marcus's hand tightens around his coffee cup, knuckles pressing white against ceramic. The camera catches it. Daniel does not. The conversation continues, warm on the surface, but underneath, something is quietly rotting. The audience feels it before they can name it. Daniel sits at his usual corner table in the cafe, the ambient noise of clinking cups and quiet conversations surrounding him. His phone buzzes. He glances down casually, then freezes. An unknown number. The message reads simply, "Ask Marcus where he was on Thursday night." Daniel reads it once, then again. His coffee sits untouched. He immediately calls the number back. 3 rings. Disconnected. He lowers the phone slowly. He tells himself it is nothing, probably someone with the wrong contact, maybe a prank. His thumb hovers over delete. He almost does it. Instead, he screenshots the message, places his phone face down on the table, and stares at the wooden surface. The camera holds on the phone. 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds of complete silence. Then, beneath the soft cafe noise, almost imperceptible, a heartbeat begins. That evening, Daniel kept his voice light and easy. "Hey, what were you up to Thursday night?" On the other end, Marcus didn't miss a beat. "Home all night," he said, exhausted from work. His voice was smooth, almost gentle, the way it always was. Daniel said, "Yeah, same. Anyway, just checking in." They hung up like nothing happened. Then Daniel opened his laptop. Their friend group had set up a shared location app years ago, something casual, something for safety. He almost forgot it existed. He pulled up Thursday night and scrolled to Marcus's name. The pin sat motionless outside Elena's building. 2 hours and 17 minutes. Daniel didn't move. He didn't close the laptop. He just sat there in the quiet of his apartment while the piano music faded down to a single, low, unresolved note. Daniel drives past Elena's building once, then again, slower the second time. He is not sure what he expects to find. He parks across the street and cuts the engine. 20 minutes pass. Nothing moves. He feels foolish, almost embarrassed by himself, and reaches for the ignition. Then the front door opens. Marcus steps out, head down, laughing quietly at something on his phone. He walks to his car, gets in, and drives away without ever looking up. He has no idea Daniel is sitting 30 feet away in the dark. Daniel watches the taillights disappear around the corner. His hands are locked around the steering wheel, knuckles white, jaw tight. He does not follow. He does not call. He simply sits there in the silence, breathing slowly, the city humming around him like nothing has changed. Daniel sits motionless in his car, the darkness pressing in around him. Then something breaks open inside his mind. The memories come flooding back, not gently, but violently. Marcus offering to review the business contracts, his smile easy and generous. "Let me handle this part. You focus on the design work." At the time it felt like loyalty. Now it feels like access. Elena casually mentioning the investor's preferred timeline, details Daniel never shared with her. A dinner, months ago, where Marcus and Elena exchanged a half-second glance across the table. Daniel had dismissed it as nothing. It was everything. The flashbacks crash into each other, each one reshaping what came before. Every act of kindness reframes itself as strategy. Every moment of trust reveals itself as a door left deliberately unlocked. Daniel presses his hands against his face. He has not been living his life. He has been living inside their plan. Daniel logs into the firm's shared cloud storage, his co-owner credentials granting him full access. He navigates through folder after folder, each one renamed just enough to look ordinary. Then he finds it. A directory buried so deep it was clearly meant to never be opened. Inside are contracts, his contracts. But something is wrong. The signatures are his, yet he never signed these versions. The amended documents redirect a significant portion of the investor deal into a third-party account. His hands move slowly as he opens the account registration details. He reads the name once, then again, then a third time. The camera begins a slow, deliberate push toward his face. The ambient sound fades completely. His expression does not collapse dramatically. It simply empties. Every trace of color leaves his face as the weight of the name settles over him like something irreversible. Daniel picks up his phone. His hands are steady now, steadier than they should be. He dials Elena's number and waits. She answers on the second ring, her voice smooth and professional as always. Daniel matches her tone perfectly, almost surgically calm. He tells her he needs to meet urgently about the investor files. There is a brief pause on her end, barely a heartbeat long. Then she agrees without hesitation, suggesting the office at 9 the next morning. Daniel says that works. They hang up. He sets the phone down and sits in complete silence for a long time, staring at nothing. Then slowly, he picks the phone back up and types a message to Marcus. "Hey, can you come over tonight? I need to talk." The reply arrives within seconds. "Of course, always here for you, brother." Daniel reads the word brother. Once, twice. His jaw tightens. Marcus arrives, and Daniel opens the door without a word. The apartment is almost entirely dark. One lamp burning low in the corner, casting long shadows across the room. Daniel pours 2 glasses of whiskey and hands one over without breaking eye contact. They settle across from each other, the silence sitting heavy between them. Daniel speaks first, his voice steady, almost casual. He asks about the business, how things feel lately, whether Marcus has noticed anything off with Elena. Marcus leans forward, warm and concerned, answering everything smoothly. His voice carries just the right amount of worry. He is generous with his words, careful with his pauses, a flawless performance. But Daniel is no longer the audience Marcus thinks he has. He watches every micro-expression, every blink, every slight shift in posture. The tension is absolutely suffocating. Daniel slides the laptop across the table without a word. The screen glows between them, forged contracts and a third-party account laid bare in cold digital light. Marcus looks at the screen for a long moment. His eyes scan slowly, deliberately. A silence stretches across the room like something about to snap. Then Marcus laughs. Soft, almost gentle, shaking his head the way someone does when a misunderstanding has gone too far. He opens his mouth, his voice already sliding into that familiar warmth, that reasonable, reassuring tone Daniel has trusted for over a decade. But Daniel speaks first. "I trusted you." 3 words. His voice breaks on the last one, fracturing somewhere deep and irreparable. Marcus stops laughing. The smile dissolves completely. The room goes utterly silent. Outside, rain begins to fall against the windows, quiet and indifferent. Marcus drops the performance. His face changes slowly, subtly, but the shift is devastating. He leans back in his chair and looks at Daniel with something that is not quite guilt and not quite defiance, something colder sitting in between. His voice comes out quiet, almost gentle. "You were never supposed to find out." The words land like something physical. Daniel does not flinch. He asks only one question. "How long?" Marcus pauses. For the first time all evening, he does not reach for a smooth answer. He tells the truth. 18 months. The betrayal has been running for 18 months. Daniel closes his eyes. The camera holds on his face for a long, painful moment, reading every invisible fracture forming beneath the surface. No music plays, no score softens the silence. Just rain, steady and indifferent, falling outside. Marcus speaks slowly, choosing words like a man building a defense he knows will not hold. He talks about feeling invisible, about watching Daniel take every spotlight while he stood just outside the frame. He says Eleanor came to him first, that he resisted before eventually agreeing, that it was never personal. His voice carries something between regret and resentment, and neither one is convincing enough. Daniel opens his eyes and looks directly at him. "You were my best friend." The words land like something final. Marcus has no answer. Nothing in his rehearsed justifications prepared him for that. He stands slowly, straightens his jacket with quiet precision, and walks toward the door. His hand rests on the handle. He pauses. "I am sorry, Daniel. I genuinely am." Then he leaves. The door clicks shut behind him. Daniel does not move. Daniel arrives at the office before anyone else. The lights are still half dimmed, the hallways quiet. But Elena is already there, seated at her desk, perfectly composed, every strand of hair in place. She looks up and smiles warmly, greeting him like any other morning. Daniel says good morning back. He sits across from her slowly, deliberately, and without a word, slides a printed copy of the documents across the desk. Elena looks down. Her composure holds for exactly 3 seconds. Then something shifts behind her eyes, something small and irreversible, like a crack forming beneath polished stone. She looks up at Daniel. She says nothing. Daniel tells her calmly that he has already sent copies to the investors, the legal team, and the board. Elena's face goes completely still. Not angry, not panicked, just still, emptied. This is her collapse, and it makes no sound at all. Elena's voice shifts. The careful professionalism she has worn like armor for years simply falls away. She tells Daniel she never wanted it to reach this point. She tells him Marcus came to her first, that she did not go looking for any of this. Daniel listens without speaking, his expression unreadable. Then she pauses, and something in her eyes changes. She tells him there is something else, something about the original deal, about how the company was actually founded, about a decision made long before Daniel ever sat down and signed his name to anything. Daniel stares at her. "What are you saying?" Eleanor slides her own folder slowly across the desk. Daniel opens it. His eyes begin moving across the page. The camera pushes in gently, deliberately, settling on his hands. They have begun to tremble. The documents do not lie. The investor Daniel had always believed in, the stranger who saw something worth funding, was Marcus's uncle. There was no discovery. There was no merit-based selection. There was only a quiet arrangement made before Daniel ever walked into the room. Elena watches him read. She does not speak. Daniel turns each page slowly. The company he built, the firm with his name on the door, the decade of late nights and impossible deadlines, all of it was constructed on a foundation he was never allowed to see. Marcus did not gain leverage 18 months ago. He had it from the very first day. Every award, every contract, every moment, Daniel believed he had earned something. It was all built inside a structure someone else controlled. The betrayal had no beginning he could point to. It simply always was. Daniel pushes through the office door and steps into the grey morning air. He stops at the top of the steps of the building he helped design, the building with his name carved beside the entrance. He looks up at it slowly, as though seeing it for the very first time. The voiceover returns, quiet and hollow. "I spent 10 years building something I thought was mine. I never knew I was building it inside someone else's hands." He stands there for a long moment, not moving. Then he reaches into his pocket and takes out his phone. He opens the original anonymous message. "Ask Marcus where he was on Thursday night." He stares at it. Then he scrolls up. His thumb stops. The message was sent from a number he now recognizes. It was Elena's secondary phone. We are back where it all began. The same rain-soaked street, the same flickering streetlight. Daniel stands beneath it, phone in hand, just like the opening frame. But everything is different now. We understand what he did not then. Elena sent that message. Whether it was guilt, self-preservation, or something quietly human caught between both, she chose to warn him. Marcus is gone. The company will survive, but survival and wholeness are not the same thing. Daniel looks down at his phone one final time and reads the words that unraveled 10 years of his life. Ask Marcus where he was on Thursday night. Then something unexpected happens. He smiles, not with joy, with something quieter and stranger, like a man who has lost everything and somehow, impossibly, feels free. Cut to black. Silence. Then a single piano note. Fade out.